Hi, I'm Mark Davidson. I've found that very few coaches have a clear grasp of how coaching works at a mechanism level. This would seem to me to be one of the first things any coach should know, yet the coaching industry has never focused on this sort of question. If it had, it would have found that there are only two things to consider: Coachee Insights and the catapult to action. This video focuses on Coachee Insights. As human beings, we have a spectacular capacity for insight. Wherever we direct our attention, we see things afresh. And wherever we see things afresh, we're able to make new connections and realize things that up till then we weren't aware of. When a person is immersed in a task with their attention fully upon what they're doing, they see things within the terrain of the task, and the seeing enables them to perform better than they would have if they were relying on their subconscious abilities alone. But nobody is fully focused on what they're doing all the time. Our minds wander, and when they do, the thoughts that enter our heads are usually about the topics that we subconsciously sense require our attention. We all have things at the back of our minds. This spontaneous thinking can shed light on all sorts of issues, but it's usually unstructured. People commonly have similar thoughts over and over with no fresh insight. What insights people do have are rarely thought through fully, and people's capacity for insight is rarely directed at the areas of their life where fresh insight would be most valuable. This is where a skilled coach can help. The coach uses questions to direct the coachee's attention towards the most problematic areas of their life. Then they help the coachee sustain their attention through the power of their listening. The things that most need quality thought are often difficult or uncomfortable to think about, so it helps to have someone forcing us to pay attention to what most needs attention, and forcing us to sustain our attention long enough to escape the orbit of our habitual thoughts. The coach can direct the coachee's attention at one aspect of their situation and at what might be possible, then at another. They can help the coachee make connections by summarising what they said and asking the coachee to correct their summary. And they can leave silences when the coachee has a half-formed insight into their head that they've not yet found the words for. A lot of people assume that coaching works through the coach giving helpful advice, top tips on how to be productive, and that sort of thing, as if coaching worked through the coach transmitting knowledge to the coachee. We've all spent time in education gaining knowledge from teachers who are experts in their subjects, but that's not at all how coaching works. It works through the coach creating the conditions for the coachee to have their own insights and to see things more clearly for themselves. The magic happens inside the head of the coachee. Coachees are already experts in all the core domains of their life. And if there's something specific they need to know, it's usually easy enough for them to do some research after the coaching session to find it out. So the coach doesn't need domain expertise. They don't need to have anything specific to transmit. The only expertise they need is in coaching. They need to be able to provide an effective coaching process. They have to be able to create the kind of environment in which the coachee is likely to have useful insights. Warm and supportive, but also challenging where necessary. They must be able to prompt the coachee to think things through creatively, but also realistically, leaving the orbit of their habitual thoughts behind, but not indulging in fantasies. There's an art to guiding people towards the most useful insights they could have, but it's an art that can be learned by anyone who is naturally curious and empathetic. The first step in learning is simply to appreciate that you're aiming to create the conditions for useful insight. The next step is appreciating that insights become genuinely useful when they catapult the coachee along a path of action that they'll end up being glad they followed. You can find more about that in our Catapult to Action video. There's a link below.